welcome y'all to Backwoods Obscura, a podcast dedicated to the lore, legends, and myths surrounding the creatures that may lurk in your backyard. My name's Hewitt.
I'm Chris. How you doing, man?
Pretty good. I've this week, my son has been up at my parents'. He went with them because today, the day of recording, they went to Silver Dollar City in Branson.
I think we were talking about Silver Dollar City earlier.
Yeah. It's not bad. They didn't even go through a third of the park, and they were there from 9 until about a quarter till 4. It turns out my son loves flat rides, like all the like little regular ass, everyday basic carnival rides. Like I learned when I took my son to Six Flags, I don't think I mentioned this in the podcast. He loved the mini mine train. He loved the Boomtown blasters, which they let you go through twice. Oh my God. So let me derail the story for a second here. Emily doesn't do roller coasters, and she was having vertigo that week. So she's over there waiting to the side. Vincent and I go and sit in this roller coaster, and I'm already way too fucking big for it.
Oh, no.
Not just weight-wise and me being a fat ass, but also, like, no matter how I shifted, my knees are in the fiberglass front of this tiny roller coaster. So
you were cramped.
So I won't lie. I man spread and put one leg over my son's leg. But the problem is the crossbar would have come down on my thigh.
Oh, no.
And so this is the reason I love the lady that works there. Hey, Dad, you are here in the front seat. I am so glad you and your son are up here. Hey, buddy, have you ever ridden a roller coaster before? And he goes, no, not one this big. And she goes, all right, that's fantastic. We're about to have a learning experience. And I'm like, I immediately love this woman because like the sarcasm mixed in with like peppy hyper. She goes, but Dad, I'm going to need you to move your leg because if it does not, if you continue to have it there and I put this bar down, you are going to have a bad time when I hit the brakes and you will split the boys. And she then looks at another dad that's like 3 rows back. Sir, I am going to ask you to also do the same. You seem to also be an individual that enjoys barbecue a little bit more than probably any of us should, but I am as well, sir. I am made of brisket and beer. So I'm going to need you to move your legs because, boys, you will have a bad time when I hit the brakes. So then I move it, and I'm like, I finally get Vincent and I seatbelt buckled in. So then she's trying to lower the bar, and it will not go. It's not that I'm fat and it wouldn't hit my gut. It wouldn't go over my knees.
Yeah.
So I had to literally shift my legs out of the roller coaster. She clicked this down, and I then shifted my legs. I thought I was about to have to tell Emily, hey, baby, you're about to have to ride this with him because I physically cannot fit in this little kid roller coaster. So then we get buckled in, and he has a blast. And then we go and do the Judge Roy Scream. The Judge Roy Scream is 80 years old. It is a wooden roller coaster. I love this thing. I don't believe I've said this in the podcast before. I love roller coasters. I curse at roller coasters. I taunt roller coasters. I want them to throw me so I can then cackle at them because I am not dead when it comes into the station.
So would you take the suicide roller coaster?
That would kill me? No.
Oh.
Moose and I are on the same point. The closer I feel to death, the happier I am on a roller coaster. So, any case, so we get on the Judge Roy Scream, right? We're the only 2 on it. We get in the front row because the Judge Roy Scream, if you ever go to Six Flags over Texas in Dallas, you go underneath the road into the park and you come out, and the roller coaster's on a lake on the other side of the park. Like, it is the only thing over there because they closed down the picnic grounds. So we get on there, and it's just me and him in the front row. I squeeze my fat ass into this, like, 19 whenever built. Like, my hip, like, even if I wasn't fat, my hips are broader than the seat because there's a midsection. Then they buckle us down, and they safety bar us down. The problem is the safety bar fits me.
Oh, I think we talked about this. Yeah.
So I had to, and so then we're going around the curve, and my wife's looking at me going, "Hey," and I go, "We're the only ones." Like I was so psyched. Like if my son hadn't been there, like if he had chickened out and gone and sat back down with my wife, I would have ridden this roller coaster by myself and just fucking rode the lightning. And like my son's like, we hit the first curve and we're going up and he's like, "This is great." I'm like, "Yeah, it is." And he's like, "This is great." "Yeah, it is." And then we hit that first drop, and the drop goes like this, like it curves slightly back under
Yeah.
and goes down. It's nowhere near straight vertical. But there's no other weight in the train but us.
Oh, so it goes.
Oh my God. Well, and the thing is, when you're in the front, there's a pause before you drop. Because the back of the train is still on the chain.
Okay,
and then when we hit that first drop, my ass comes out the seat. I am just at or just under 300 pounds, depending on the scale I'm on. My son weighs 50 something. So when my butt comes up, I'm like, oh, and I see him. And I'm like, I grab him with this arm. He's woven his arm around it. He's death gripping the front rail. I'm holding on to it. Like, we're okay. Like, I'm not looking ahead. I'm like, I would just be yelling and hollering and hooting this whole roller coaster, right?
Yeah.
Like I would,
but your dad mode,
and I'm going, we're okay. Like I'm not looking this way at all. Like we're okay, we're fine. I am not fine. Yeah, we're fine. He goes, are you me? No. Then you don't know if I'm fine. Like my son starts having some of the most clear self-evaluation of a boy that has tism that I've ever heard. And it's like, I want off. We can't get off. But yeah, we can. No, son, this doesn't stop. Roller coasters don't stop. You go the whole ride. And then and so like the second drop, my ass, like I'm sitting there floating and got him. He's like, and then we hit the curb and we're like, it's almost done. It's almost done. All we got are bunny hills. Are bunny hills not that bad? I'm like, bunny hills aren't that bad. They are that bad.
So, yeah. I'm assuming at the crescendo of all the bunny hills, y'all are.
Well, the bunny hills are what slows you down before you hit the final brakes and go in. And then I look at him. How was that? Not again. I go, are you sure, buddy? Not again. I don't like that. I'm like, okay, so you don't have to ride the giant. He goes, is the giant bigger? Yes. No, Dad. I'm good. And then he rode the mini mine train twice. Like I got off and he grabbed his mom and dragged her because the mini mine train's not that bad.
Hey, look, there. Different reactions to certain things like that. Like I know.
Oh no, it's perfectly fine. Like I took him on the Judge Roy screen because
I think I would have a similar reaction.
Well, my thing with the Judge Roy screen is when it comes to the roller coasters at the park, it is a entry level old school wooden roller coaster, and if you don't like that, I'm not going to take you to Shockwave. I'm not going to take you to Batman. I'm not going to take you to Mr. Freeze. I'm not going to ride Mr. Freeze because I don't like launch coasters that go up and then you come backwards. Because it's one of those like you do woo and you go up the pole. And like if you're in the front seat, you meet fucking Jesus because you don't see the end of the pole past the end of the cart anymore. You're still 30 feet from the end of the actual pole.
Right.
Like, but or I should say you're 30 feet from the end of the actual track. I don't like that because I've just been shot several hundred feet directly up, and my only way is to now ride the exact same roller coaster backwards.
Yeah, no.
So, yeah. That's also I will say this, that trip to Six Flags is also the only time I've been called the N-word by kids in an appreciative way. So
I mean,
okay, let me, it sounds bad. So I waited in line to ride the Texas Giant, which is now a wooden steel hybrid coaster. They replaced the old track with a metal one. Oh my God, it's an amazing roller coaster. I'd need to take you on it. I barely fit in it because again, they still have like the very narrow seats and like I'm a husky boy. And like so I get on there and I
have a confession.
Yeah.
I've never ridden a roller coaster.
We have to fix this.
I almost did it in SeaWorld, but dude, I was only there out of obligation, really.
I'll be honest. If the whole TBA family went to an amusement park, as much as I love my children,
you would drag us.
No. As much as I love my children, I would leave them with my wife who will not ride a roller coaster with me and grab Moose. I'd be like, Claire, I'm stealing your husband. We're going on a date. And the date is called the Texas Giant. And we're going to go ride a roller coaster because Moose and I will get in the same seat and do the exact same thing on the roller coaster and love it. So anyway, I get in line. I'm by myself. It takes forever, but Vince is riding all the flat rides. He's having a great time. Emily and him, we bought the refillable cup. So they're going back and getting Sprite and water and lemonade and just, they're enjoying all of the little roller coaster bullcrap of an amusement park. And to be fair, it's fairly dope. They missed the Wild West shootout, which
all I want is the only thing I know about amusement park is turkey legs, and I want a turkey leg.
they were $18.
I'll eat it.
So I'm in line, and all of a sudden this kid comes up. And when I say kid, I mean
Child?
he's like 16. He goes, "Hey, sir, are you the only one in this section of the line?" "Yeah, I'm the only one here, kid." "Is it cool if I ride with you?" I'm like, "Do you have any of your friends on the ride?" "Yeah, but they're all riding in the front, and they're like, there's 4 of them, and there's 1 of me." I'm like, "All right, man, come on over here."
So he was the 5th wheel?
Yeah.
Oh.
I was like, you know what? And I was like, how many roller coasters? Like, I'm waiting with him, and then when we get in there, I'm starting to buckle up. You got a buckle, you got a latch, and they have plexiglass up on the side so you don't hit your head on the side of the roller coaster if you get thrown. And I go, "How many roller coasters have you ridden?" "This is my second one. I rode the Titan." I was like, "Look, man, the Titan is way faster, way bigger, way higher on a drop. The Texas Giant is going to beat you to hell and back." And he goes, "Really?" It's like, all right, the last time I rode this, it was still just a wooden coaster. There were no steel rails. He goes, "Dude, that's been 10 years. I'm like, "Do you not see the gray in my beard, child?"
Do you not see? I was there when it was built.
I was there. I was there when the rules of roller coasters were written, mostly because of OSHA. But no, like, so I finally get buckled in because I'm sitting like, oh my shit, I might have to go sit in the chicken coop. I'm too fat to ride the fucking Texas Giant. But I get it buckled because I had to do the fiddly bit with like the weird.
Right.
And then the guy comes and clicks me in. And the kid goes, "What can I expect on this?" "All right, I'm not going to lie, man. You're going to hear me holler and yell and start cackling after the first drop. Do not worry, I'm not crazy." And he goes, he turns and looks at me, and that's when the roller coaster starts moving. "Well, if I was, it's a little late now, isn't it, kid?" So I have this kid roll. I have this kid fucking rolling, and we hit the click. He goes, "Oh my God, this is way taller than I thought." Yeah. First drop's like 85 feet. And in front of us are these 2 kids who have been like TikToking. "Texas Giant ain't shit, man. Texas Giant ain't shit. Me and my boy Ray about to go down this. We're kicking every roller coaster's ass." Like they're TikToking it. And then like they have their phone on, but they have it in the necklace pouch.
Oh, right.
So like they can't get in trouble because you're supposed to put your phone up. I'm so fat, all my shit's not going anywhere. Yeah. So we get up to the top, and there's Wile E. Coyote going up there, and it's basically the, "Pity all ye who enter here" type shit. And we hit the first drop, and I'm airborne for the first drop. And again, I'm a hefty boy. This kid turns and looks at me like Nicolas Cage in the meme, and I'm over there going, like, when you see like at the end of this roller coaster, there's the 2 kids in front of us making like absolute terrified faces because like, this ain't shit, fuck, and then it's me.
Doing like
I'm looking
almost a Glasgow smile.
I'm looking directly at the camera when I smile, and the kid next to me is turning to me, and I look at him. It's fun. And then my butt is not in the seat because they added the steel track. You don't fully do a barrel loop. You do like you go like to 120 degrees over, and then you come back, and I'm cackling. I'm laughing. I am like, this is what's great is when you hit the first slowdown stage. One of the kids in front of me, like the 2 in front of me, are screaming bloody murder. They're terrified. And then one of them goes, "This certain word," back here laughing like he riding a missile down to ground zero. And I yelled Dr. Strangelove. And then we hit the second major drop. And like, by the time I realized that I'm no longer up out of my seat because of gravity, I am literally leaning forward on the pad of my foot. My butt's up. And it's like you're riding a horse when you hit the bunny hills at the end of it. I have not stopped laughing since the halfway point of this ride. I have been talking shit. And this kid looks at me. "Sir? Yeah. Am I supposed to do that on roller coasters?" "Every single time, my boy." And then I walk off and don't make eye contact. Like one of the employees.
You walk off into the wilderness of the fucking park itself.
Yeah, I just walk off, and this kid, Like, the thing that's great is, like...
changed this man's life forever.
So, later on, like, Emily and I are sitting there, like, trying to figure out what we want to eat. And she's like, do y'all want to do the Runaway Mountain? And I was like, no, Vincent doesn't want to do that. It's not that fast, but it's in pitch black. He's big enough, he weighs enough, and there's an over-the-shoulder harness.
Right.
But it's in pitch black. He's not going to do it. And if the lights are on, I don't want to do it. Because it's going to be like I'm riding, if you ever see Space Mountain with the lights on, it's super lame.
Right.
Like, the best thing about Space Mountain in any of these rides is it's dark. So we're watching that, and all of a sudden this kid's like running with his other 4 friends. Come on, we have to do it. Also, you call it a bitch. So,
I'm glad you could be an inspiration to the next generation.
I want this for everybody that rides roller coasters, is talk shit to them. Which I know I've just...
we're actually recording a cryptid podcast.
Yeah, I know, but here's the thing. My wife, when I described this, said I was being a bit of a wild man.
Are we doing another wild man?
Sort of. Have you ever heard of Père Malfait?
No.
Père Malfait.
Père Malfait?
Père Malfait.
Père Malfait?
Père Malfait.
Père Malfait?
Sorry, Père Malfait.
Père Malfait.
Mal. Okay, what does père mean in French? What does it sound like?
Pears?
No. My paterfamilia.
Oh, like parent?
I'm a paterfamilia.
Father?
Yes.
Okay.
What does mal mean in most languages?
Cat?
No. Mal. M-A-L.
M-A-L?
Malfeasance. Maleficent.
Bad.
Bad dad.
So it's bad dad.
Bad dad. Now, connected to this is also the Moss Man of Florida, because they're very similar creatures. So the bad dad, or the father of leaves, and the Moss Man, very similar creatures. Now,
it sounds like a Green Man sort of deal almost.
Not a bad tattoo idea, by the way.
What, Green Man?
Yeah.
I would do it. Just put it right here. I hit my chest for the...
He hit over his nipple, so I'm assuming the mouth is right there.
Yeah, the mouth is
the nip. Now, description: bad father, father of mischief, Cajun boogeyman, Moss Man, father of bad leaves. These are all things that Père Malfait.
That's also a fucking badass name. Father of bad leaves.
That's our metal band. That's the metal band. Our black metal Cajun metal band. Now, he's well over 7 feet tall. Is a humanoid creature covered in Spanish moss or made of Spanish moss.
So this motherfucker's coming in a live oak covered in Spanish moss.
Yeah, or is.
Spanish moss.
Glowing yellow or green eyes. Something similar to almost every cryptid we talk about. Stank.
Yeah.
Stank.
Stanky boy.
Now here's the thing. No claws, no mouth for the Père Malfait.
So is he kind of like... Okay, I've mentioned this last time, but Swamp Thing.
Inspiration for him.
Yeah.
Now, to describe the Père Malfait, attacks those who wake him up from sleeping in the swamp. So, dude, dad just want a nap.
Sometimes dudes just want a nap.
Look, I'm a dad. Sometimes, I want a nap.
Like, bad dad probably out there being bad, and then he's like, damn, I'm tired. I'm going to sleep in this hole in the ground. And then someone comes around and just...
Now, if you wake him up, he will grab you and suffocate you, either by grabbing your throat or hugging you to death.
I was just going to say, is he going to suplex?
No, just bear hug you to death or grab you by the throat, staring at you with those glowing eyes until you pass out.
You know, in like Final Fantasy VI, you can like suplex the train.
Yes,
that's what I think he was going to do.
No, he doesn't suplex the train.
Do
you have that card?
I haven't gotten the suplex. I've gotten the Phantom Train card. I got like 2 or 3 of them, but I haven't gotten a suplex card. I'm very mad about it.
You'd play it with Tifa, wouldn't you?
Well, the thing is, I would have to get the Italian Tifa. Like the current Tifa I have.
Fucking nerd. Now, supposedly he also steals children left at home all alone that are too loud.
So he...
Don't throw a party when mom and dad leave, a Père Malfait will show up.
So bad dad will be like, oh, you're being bad. And
Guess who's better at being bad than you?
Me? motherfucker.
Suplex the train.
Suplex.
Now, the only way to...
Wait a minute. Before you go... I just had the... He's like, bad dad. And he's seeing the teenagers being bad. And he's like, I'm here. I'm bad dad. And then he's like, you want to see something crazy? After he, like, drinks 20 beers. He suplexes a train.
So, if you want to kill the Père Malfait, you have to use...
Make him pay child support.
No. You gotta stab him in the heart with sweet gum wood. You gotta have a wooden weapon made from swamp sweet gum.
Oh, so, like, sweet gum trees.
Yeah, here's my problem. This is the same thing with, like, vampires. That, like, when you go to Castlevania, Dracula has all the shit to kill him in his mansion.
It's like, dude, why are you... Yeah.
I wish for you to have a sporting chance. Père Malfait is like, dang, I'm just allergic, man.
I'm just gonna live in a place where, like, people can
also,
easily find the things that
let's be
kill
fair.
me.
If you stab someone in the heart, they usually die. Like, I'm just gonna say that. Like, you stab anybody.
Yeah. Usually, if you pierce the heart, you're not walking away from that.
Now, trees that technically meet this description
of a sweet gum,
the American sweet gum, the red gum, or the liquidabor stificalia. So that's everywhere in North America, because that one just translates to sweet gum. Now, origins of Père Malfait.
Yeah, I've seen. Oh my god, these trees are fucking everywhere.
Yeah, no, man, we have them literally everywhere.
Yeah, no, I mean, I remember growing up in the apartment, and there's a sweet gum tree.
How many times did you get a sweet gum ball stuck in your foot?
More than I can count.
Now, origins. It originated in France and was brought to Louisiana during the colonial era. The creature lived in the woods and would snatch up children that woke it up by venturing into the woods at night. It was a fairy tale to keep children out of the woods and to behave much like the tie-ties and everything else. So, Père Malfait, the Cajun boogeyman, 100% a story to tell kids, don't go into the woods.
Like, do not do this. Please stop going into the fucking woods.
All right, there's a giant wolf out there that'll eat you. That's not enough. There's Fae that will eat you.
Oh, that's not enough?
The literal tree will have a man that was sleeping in it come out and suffocate you to death.
Oh, that's not enough? Whistler, I guess?
Another one's like, well, if not, then you're the fucking Fae's problem, not my problem. I got 8 of you.
It's like, I haven't even given you a name yet.
Okay, to be fair, that was 2 back in the day.
Yeah, it's like, I call
I'm
you
sorry,
Hey
1.
You.
It was 1. It was 1. Sorry, I'm sorry. Name day was the first birthday. Now, a related creature to this is the Moss Man.
Okay.
Another name for Père Malfait is the Moss Man. Now, the thing about Spanish moss is it is not just a Louisiana thing. It is throughout the entire South, which I might have to do a scientific-based episode on just what the hell Spanish moss actually is.
I mean, the thing I don't know much about Spanish moss aside from I see it fucking everywhere, but I also know it's like if you pair it with live oaks, that's like the quintessential like
spooky southern vibe.
Aside from like cypress trees in the swamp.
Okay, the knees coming out of the, okay, you know how there's a what's it called when like you don't like all the holes in things?
Fucking I know what you're talking about. I can't think of it.
I have the opposite. I really don't like mangrove swamps or cypress swamps because if I was to be in the water and all of a sudden my legs
tryptophobia.
Okay. Like all the stuff sticking out of the water lets me know under the water there's all this shit.
That's almost like a thalassophobia thing where
it's
like
a little bit.
I think there's like a certain word for like fear of murky water.
It's not even murky water. I don't want to be walking through water and get tangled up in something.
Right.
Like, it's the reason why, like, water rides freak me out a little bit, because, like, if we had to abandon ship and there's just all this crap under the water. Like, I guess it's submechanophobia would be the closest thing. I'm not really scared of I'm not really scared of the machine that's coming out of the water. I'm scared of getting tangled up in it.
I don't know if there's like certain, like, I don't know if there's like certain things that like people just like, there's like memes out there. Like, thalassophobia is kind of a meme at this point because people are like, ooh, something spooky in the water. It's like, that's not necessarily thalassophobia. Like, I could go out on a boat in the ocean and not feel like
if
like
a giant
crippling fear.
Like if a giant animatronic came out of the water as part of an art installation, it makes me slightly uncomfortable.
Right. Like,
and like my thing is like if I'm on the shore, it's not that bad. But if I was like in a boat and it came up, so that I guess I got thalassophobia with that. Like all of a sudden, like a whale coming out of the ocean, which I've dealt with. Just here's something bigger than the boat I'm on.
Right.
Comes out of the ocean,
which have like swallowed people on accident.
They spit them out because they can't actually fully swallow us. But like the thing is like here is a blue whale came out of the water, and mama's on this side and baby's on this side, and mama's bigger than the boat. And I had no clue this creature was there 3 seconds ago. And like all of a sudden, something bigger than my boat emerges out of the murky nothingness. That's a little freaky to me. But my thing is with like cypress trees, their roots are all in the water. So like if you're moving through you have to step up on them. Your feet can get tripped up. You can get tangled up, and then now you're stuck. Like, I really don't want to be walking in water and step, and all of a sudden, like you saw when we went to Claire's a year ago, when my one leg sunk in the water.
Right. Yeah.
And, like, I don't want to get tangled up and stuff. That's my big thing, is I don't want to be going through water and get tangled in
bullshit. Yeah.
In anything, and that's creepy to me. And there has to be a name for that other than submechanical. In any case. That's why I don't like the cypress swamps, because I don't want to be walking and then like have to walk over.
I think for me, when it comes to like the fear of like the swamps, is not necessarily like what's in. I mean, of course, there's like snakes and alligators and shit like that, and then there's that fear of like getting stuck in the swamp and having to like potentially be stuck there. But like, I think the biggest thing is like for me is like it's a maze.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Like, I don't know how, like, Florida swamps are. I hear Florida swamps are pretty open. Swamps here in Louisiana...
We have swamps that are like swamps and woods.
Yeah.
Florida has more like swamps and plains in the Everglades. But Florida does have mangroves.
Yeah, so...
Same issue for me, because I'm like...
Like, if you go out into Honey Island, or if you go out into, like, the Arcadiana... deep into those fucking like swamps, you are in no man's land, and you are likely going to
you're gonna die. That's where it's like you might not actually die, but the whole time you're like,
the reason why you give respect occasions is because they've lived out in those.
They go there.
They go there, they live out there, and they thrive there.
Have we gotten our irrational fears out of the way, our phobias out of the way?
I think what were we talking about? We're talking about
Mossman. Moss, not moth. I saw the highlight on the Mothman. I know who's claimed that.
Look, we still haven't. Like, I feel like we haven't been doing this podcast enough to get into the big boys.
We have hit a couple big boys. Now, Mossman, 7 to 8 feet tall humanoid that is a tangle of moss and plants. Amber, red, or yellow glowing eyes based on the story. Can meld into the swamp. Can summon a mist. Stank.
He does stank mist?
Farts and disappears. Farts and Homer Simpson's into the brush.
Okay.
But no, just like, here's the thing is like, how many cryptids have we talked about at this point? Stank.
Shit. Like,
Bigfoot.
Like, here's
Honey Island. Latesh.
I would expect that most like cryptids stink just by virtue of like if it's like an actual creature that like spends its time outside, especially if we're talking about like a Bigfoot style creature.
I guess so, but my big thing here is like, how stinky did you have to be for some of these reports from like the 1800s to say you stink?
Probably pretty. But here's the thing.
Because my thing is,
Okay,
I'm fairly certain the 1800s smelled like a taint.
But the thing of it is, it's not necessarily about like taint or like body odor. Let's
Musk. It's a musk.
It like if something smells off. Like, let's say you go into the woods and you start smelling something just rotten. It doesn't matter if it's like rotten food or if it's rotten like meat,
Vegetation. Yeah.
vegetation, meat. That's gonna stand out. Doesn't matter how musty you are.
That's true. That's very true.
Yeah.
Now, origins. In the 1500s, conquistadors... So, let me rephrase that. One of the stories for the origins of the Moss Man in Florida. In the 1500s, conquistadors captured a native woman and decapitated her after some other activities.
Okay.
I'm going to list them as other because we didn't put a warning before this episode.
Right.
They tied her head to a tree to give a warning to her people that we are here.
As conquistadors do,
Yep.
the bastards.
The medicine men called on the swamp to take vengeance. Her head was then connected to the plant life around her and the tree that she was tied to, and she came back as a massive conglomerate of vegetation from the swamp and killed all the conquistadors.
Good for her.
My, you know what? Go girl.
Yeah.
1700s, a witch doctor made a plant golem to drive off the colonizers, but it got loose and started doing whatever it wanted.
Well, I mean,
I kind of like that version too because it doesn't involve SA.
yeah, actually.
Like, I made a golem. The golem, I must do all things legal. And just decides to go fuck off and does like, hey, aren't you supposed to listen to me? You're human, you don't understand the law. And it just like Robocops into the swamp.
It's like, okay, man, cool.
So I kind of like the idea. Like, the first one, I get it. It's very anti-colonizer, and both of us are. Get it. I'd believe that they use some type of magic to do that. But personally, I like the idea. I made a plant golem, and now I lost it.
Whoops.
What do you mean you lost it?
It did its thing, and I'm here.
We had a disagreement, and then it went off and decided to be Red Hood instead of Batman. So it kills things.
Whoops.
Sorry, not sorry.
It's your problem. I'm going back out to my hut.
All right, so now let's get into some sightings of the Moss Man. In the 1800s, have folk tales and reports of encountering the creature all over the state of Florida, from the Panhandle to the Everglades. Like, people saw weird, large humanoids in the swamp. All right, I'd believe it. You know what? It's the Everglades. Yeah. Okay, if there is,
we're talking about the area that is. I'm not to interrupt, but it's talking about the area that's like the fucking skunk ape area.
It is, but here's the thing. If there's a state that makes Louisiana seem normal, it's Florida. Like, let's be honest, 100%. Like, I'm not throwing shade.
Okay,
because you can't throw shade at Florida, because the second you think you've thrown shade at Florida, you read the news title that a woman stabbed her husband with a squirrel in Florida, or someone ate somebody's face in Florida.
Here's the thing. This is what I'm going to say about
someone fed their husband to tigers with sardine oil, and that never happened.
Okay, so I could believe it, but here's what I'm going to say about Florida. You see some wild and wacky shit in Florida. Like in any state, you see wild and wacky shit. However, the reason why you don't hear as, like, people might overlook, like, we're a party state for the most part because of New Orleans. You might hear about New Orleans being like a crime-ridden state. Some people might hear about Louisiana in general being heavy in crime, which we are. We're very subtle about it.
Oh, God, no, dude. We are not. You know how loud our politicians are?
No, what I'm saying is, like, everyone talks about the Florida man. no one talks about the Louisiana man.
Thank you for taking the bullet there, Florida.
Here's the thing. Like, when I say we're not loud about it, it's like we just do our shit and just continue on.
Well, no, here's the thing is, I don't think it's that we're not loud. Florida's just yelling. Like, I think
that might be it. You might be right.
I think the thing is, like, if you heard a Louisiana man got stabbed in the chest with a trophy that he had mounted on the wall, none of us would think anything about it. More than likely, because it's like, all right, did you cheat?
I mean, I also think that, like,
but Florida man stabbed in chest with stuff. Florida man stabbed in chest with squirrel.
I mean, I think there might be also a thing of, like, a silliness associated with Florida. It's like
everybody in Florida has at least one level of barbarian.
You hear something about something happening in Florida, you're like, oh, it's just Florida. They're just wacky. You hear something in Louisiana, you're like, I'm never going to that state.
That's true, but to be fair, the vampires here kind of keep a solid image for us.
Yeah.
Any case, so in the 1800s, we had all those. Now, a farmer from Clay County said he saw what looked like a large wild man covered in decaying plant matter raiding his farm's rabbit pens.
As you do.
Sheriff Peeler hunted the beast, but nearly got lost in the swamps and almost died.
So this dude was like...
The sheriff with a posse went to hunt down this rabbit-stealing wild man in the Panhandle, I believe. I think that's where near Clay County, and got lost.
So he did the thing that we were just talking about. You don't go out into the swamp.
Nope. Reports of fishermen having rocks thrown at them by large creatures while they are near the coast in the swampier areas of the state. Now, to move to 1978. Again, 1970s is a wild time. 1970s is when, like, all the cryptids decided to come back out.
We need to come up with, like, a name for the 1970s. Because there's so many, like...
Coked out cryptids.
The coked out cryptids. I mean, it was the cocaine.
Celebrate. I mean, sorry, that song's from the 80s, but it's like, I'm a cryptid. I don't know. That hurt.
We're sorry.
That hurt me to do that.
He's
physically.
a baritone or whatever you call it.
Can't do that now. 1978 in Boca Raton, Florida, a couple thought it was a man in a raincoat laying face down on the beach as they were walking by. Like, we're having a romantic empty. Oh my God! There's a dead man in a raincoat, or a homeless man in a raincoat.
Now he's just fucking the sand.
No, the couple then fled because it got up and it was way taller than a dude.
And it was fucking the sand. It was having fun.
I like how when Chris tells a story, he's the straight man and I'm over here making inappropriate jokes. And when I do it, he just decides to crank it to 11. Like, I make one dirty joke an episode for him. He's like, Sandy Wiener.
It's Sandy Wiener. I heard of sand in the vagina, but you ever heard of sand in the urethra? It gets down there. It sounds, you know what I mean?
That's how you make a penis pearl. Now, they ended up running off. They said it looked like Spanish moss all over the area when they came back the next day. Like, eventually they brought the cops back. But this is where there's just Spanish moss everywhere on the ground.
So it did like kind of a mysterious cryptid thing where it just kind of left its mark.
Yeah, it misty stepped and left shit there. Sightings near the area popped up after this event, of course. So, like, weird thing happened, and everybody, oh, I saw that too, yeah. Sandy Wieners everywhere. Just
Sandy Wieners,
just slanging.
It just sprayed all this moss everywhere. I don't know
slanging that 80 grit.
It's
sanded my
ghost white moss everywhere.
Sanded the handrail of my deck. It was nice. I could refinish it. It was actually pretty good. You know, I ain't gonna complain. But sightings near Red Reef Park, West Palm Beach, and Hillsborough Beach popped up all along this time, and then they kind of died down. Now, by 1980, an old couple saw it at Red Reef Park. The older lady went to touch what she thought was a weird growth of moss on a tree, what the fuck? Like, it's in my notes. Say it loudly. What the fuck? Like, here's weird moss on this tree. This is how you become patient zero in the zombie apocalypse.
What's this weird thing I'm touching? Oh my goodness.
So she went up and touched the weird growth on the tree. Nope, Moss Man.
So wait, was it just like a patch?
Like, she thought there was this weird growth of moss on the side of the tree. She went to touch it. It was Moss Man's back. Like, and all of a sudden it stood up and she's like,
okay, that's not what I was thinking. I don't think that's what the audience was thinking either.
Like, she saw moss on a tree. She thought it was weird. She went and touched it. It was his back.
Okay, so please visualize this for me so it's not sexual or weird.
She didn't touch a mossy wiener.
Like,
a mossy or a sandy wiener. She didn't touch it.
She didn't go into the mossy bush.
No, she just sees what looks like a weird growth of moss on the side of this live oak. And then she touches it because she's like, this is weird. I'm like, I'm going to be honest with you. 90% of the time I see something weird when I'm walking through a park, I assume it's poison ivy.
Well, we're tactile creatures. We like to feel things, you know what I mean?
This is how you die in a horror movie.
You like to feel.
You touch Bigfoot's ass. Now, sightings since then have varied, with it being more animal-like. Some of them are more ghostly. So, like, there could be like a genus loci aspect of this. However, 1957's account, I love this one. I love the 1957 account that I found. A G-mother was with her grandmother was with her Girl Scout troop. The girls had to go to the bathroom, so she took all of them. She's like, all right, how many of you got to pee? 3 out of 10. We're all going to the bathroom.
I got to take a shit.
No, it's one of those, you're all going to piss. You're all going to piss because I'm not doing this in 30 minutes. It's 1957. Dude, it's 1957. We're lucky she didn't say you all piss in the same coffee can.
No, it's fair.
And it's the coffee can she was going to boil water for her coffee in the next day, kind of shit.
Fuck.
Not with the piss, dude. I'm saying, like,
no, it doesn't matter if it. No,
she's gonna wash it out in the water of the Everglades. Here's jaundice and piss. Best part of waking up is I'm gonna fucking throw up.
She's like, one of y'all has diabetes.
Now, so the girls had to go to the bathroom, so she took all of them there. So they're all in line in this like 1950s, like 2-stall women's outdoor restroom that probably goes to a cesspit type thing, or to a fecal pit. And then all of a sudden the Moss Man steps out from behind the bathroom, goes ooga booga.
He's like, yo.
And so
have you gotten this brochure for the tour?
So Moss Man just comes up. So this weird fucking like 8-foot tall man walks out from behind the bathroom, and she's like, here's the thing, grandma's got like 10 and less kids. Like 10, like has multiple kids, 10 and less. Grandma, being from the greatest generation that fought Nazis, decided to grab a pipe because they were renovating the bathrooms, and beat Moss Man with the reject pipe. So she went Terry Beauregard Streets of Rage on Moss Man.
That's fucking badass.
I love this grandmother from 1957 because it's like dun 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 dun, pop pop.
And I didn't fight Nazis for your bullshit. Actually, I don't know if she would have fought the Nazis, but she would have definitely been a tough ass.
She hit it for about a minute and then it ran away.
This stupid D&D ass was like.
This is her 100% statement to the park rangers is, I hit it about a minute and then it ran away. There was blood on the pipe.
My stupid D&D ass was like, you were going to say, I hit it for about 60 damage. And then
Grandma might have hit it she might have hit that shambling mound for fucking 60 damage.
She was like, I'm going to fucking action surge on your fucking ass. And just beat the shit
So after that, she got everybody to piss.
Okay, so she was like,
because
okay,
at this point, after everybody watched Grandma whoop up on this creature, everybody had to pee if they didn't already pee themselves. Grandma peed. Like, can you imagine this? I just watched Grandma beat the swamp monster with a pipe Now we all have to stand outside in the dark while she takes a piss or a shit.
It's like, oh, hold on 1 second. This got the bowels moving, and she goes in there.
20 minutes later, all right, I'm done. All the kids huddled together.
I'm sorry, Grandma's bowels don't move as good as they used to.
It takes me whooping Bigfoot's ass to take a shit. The Great Depression came out with this.
I
feel
eating
much
dandelions when I was a child. You better be lucky you ain't
myself.
me.
So they then went back to their campground. She took them back to their tents and said, we're going to build the biggest fire we can. So they built a massive fire. The massive fire is what alerted the Rangers. And when she described it, they said, you need to leave. Get them all to a car and take them home.
I like the fact that she's like, we're just going to light a big fucking fire.
Well, I mean, think about how far they're probably from their vehicles. All their stuff's back at the tents. They build a big fire that all of a sudden the Rangers can see back at their tower or their station. They get out there. What's up? Oh, yeah, I beat the shit out of this giant moss monster with a pipe. It's covered in blood. I still got it. Like,
anyway,
you know what?
I got to build this big fire because, it might come back and I have to beat it with something.
And they're like, you know what? Just go. just go.
Leave.
Now, connected to this is another story from the 1950s. A Boy Scout troop went missing at the Carpenter camp. A Boy Scout went missing at the Carpenter campground near where they were camping. Now, they found his camera, and the last picture was the Moss Man dragging him by his boot through the swamp.
Oh, this would be great evidence.
Yeah, here's the thing. It's like, I'm getting like the Bigfoot game we occasionally play. So I don't think that story is true whatsoever because it's so like, and then there was a picture of him being drugged by the foot.
Okay, but where's the picture, though?
So, what is Moss Man? Is it an urban legend?
Probably.
A demon?
No. Alien?
Alien?
No.
Genus Loci? Maybe. I hedge my bets closer to Genus Loci. Forest Spirit? Kind of the same thing. Dude in a ghillie suit? A lot of pictures. Bigfoot?
Maybe, yeah.
Maybe
a skunk ape.
Orangutan? Maybe yes. Most recent reports of what the Moss Man looks like match the description of a
orangutan?
Full-grown male orangutan. While supposedly there are no there are no orangutans or gorillas wild in our country, there are more than enough photos to support that at least at one point, probably not so alive today, or if it is a very small population, of pets from wealthy individuals between Miami and other large cities that were in the drug game that bought exotic pets. Like, why are there crocodiles in Florida? People brought them over. Why are there boa constrictors in Florida? People brought them over.
Yeah.
Pythons, why are they over here? People bought them, they got too big, and they released them in the Everglades, and they have survived.
I think that's also iguanas, too.
Yeah, iguanas are all over the state. Like, someone's like, there's no iguanas. Yeah, drop lizards are going to fall out the tree when it gets cold, and you better hope that 20 pounds of lizard don't fall on your skull.
I've seen Guga cook them before.
Iguanas are apparently actually good eating. That's also why you got iguana bites in Fallout.
I'll eat it. I'll try it. I'll give it a go.
I've eaten alligator, man. So I mean,
I've eaten frog, alligator. I've eaten
rattlesnake.
Yeah.
I've had nutria and gumbo, and then the only reason I was upset is no one told me it was nutria before I ate the gumbo.
I heard raccoon is stringy.
It is. It also fucks you up when you're reaching into the pot to pull out your stuff, and a tiny hand comes out that looks like a human hand.
No.
Look, dude, I come from fucking rednecks, okay? There's a reason I don't eat with my people in Morehouse Parish no more.
True. I ain't gonna hate. I'm not.
Now, so my thing is that are there orangutans in the Everglades? I'm gonna say yes.
I mean, I think they're like. Here's the thing. Like when it comes to like rich dipshits deciding it's like I can do anything. I'm gonna get some exotic pet because I'm super rich, and then they realize
I can't take care of a fucking 500-pound male orangutan.
And what do rich dipshits do? They toss it out into the wilderness like,
be free.
It's like, be free, but this isn't your habitat. You're probably going to die. Bye. And then...
So, I'm going to say this. There's, like, if we ever do the skunk ape, there is a very, very well-known picture of the skunk ape that is 100%. That's 100% orangutan.
Actually, like that's our. If you look at our
Blue Sky logo
and our Facebook, that is actually the same picture that I use because I think it's a funny picture.
It is, but at the same time, I was going to say this: if someone was to tell me there was a tiger population living in the Everglades.
No, I would believe it.
I'd also believe it because I'm pretty sure. Because here's the thing: is not gonna lie, the drug trade game and exotic pet trade game,
they're pretty close.
They run parallel, if not
the
same line. So I'm gonna say this: 9% sure it's an urban legend. 5% sure that recent sightings are orangutans. 5% that it's their genus loci.
I can get down with that.
Now, media. It has appeared on Kolchak, or I should say the Père Malfait, appeared on the Kolchak episode of Night Stalker.
Okay.
So the Père Malfait was in that, and a dude thought he was the Père Malfait, and he was strangling people.
Oh.
So it's just a big buff wrestler covered in Spanish moss. In his draws.
Okay, I mean, it is what it is.
There's the Père Malfait Trail Race in Bastrop, November 25th, 2025 at the Bussy Break Park.
Bussy.
Dude, we could actually go to this in November. Like, we could actually go to Père Malfait's race.
To the Bussy.
In the Bussy. Swamp Thing is a reference to him.
Okay, yeah. I like when you mentioned Spanish moss with no mouth and all that, I was like, yeah, this is...
mentioned in the novel Devil's Playground by Craig Russell, and also in the book On Holy Ground by Lucia Tesh, listed as the story told by her mother. My sources: Louisiana Dread, Epic Fantasy, Weird Darkness, Will Star Monsters and Mysteries, the CoffeeHouseWriter.com, Père Malfait, the MoonlitRoad.com, Cajun folk source to petitions, RaceRaves.com, Père Malfait, Weird Darkness with Darren Mahler, Vampire.com, and Project Solstice, translated to English thanks to Google.
Thank you, Google. No, this was a fun little episode. Again, we're talking about little. This isn't necessarily little cryptid, but I like learning about
I didn't
niche.
I didn't know about him until Louisiana Dread. I watched the Louisiana Dread episode and I went, I'm gonna research that.
Yeah, I like learning about. I guess the term would be niche creatures and cryptids in our area.
Well, I mean, it's kind of like the Levelland Frogman is better known, but I like this one because I hadn't heard of it.
Yeah, and it's just an interesting one.
Also, Père Malfait is really fun to say.
Anyway, we are Backwoods Obscura. We release every Tuesday. We are on the Facebook. We are on the TikTok. We are on the Blue Sky. And we are on the Patreon. We don't know what we're doing on Patreon. We're just there. Please sign up and just show your love if you like the podcast. Also,
I'll eat a stick of butter and tell you a scary story.
Yeah, he'll do that. And also, if you like any of our content, please subscribe, do all the dumb bullshit that we're supposed to tell you to do. And also, we are Team Bonus Action.
Team Bonus Action is a group of friends who like to play D&D and other tabletop games or stream them online. We are unofficially connected to the Trevor Project and St. Jude through this month. Have a happy Pride, this one might post.
It doesn't matter.
Anyway,
happy Pride all around. It doesn't matter.
Pride is all year. Anyway, if you can donate to those, or if you're listening to this anytime after August, we'll be partnered with the Children's Miracle Network to donate to children's hospitals so the parents don't have to worry about paying medical bills. So if you can donate to those, we would greatly appreciate it.
And with that, I hope you have a good day or night or whatever time it is over there.
Wow.